countdown?
Yeah, this is a bit of a countdown.
Only when I first come on.
Here we go. First in Philly, guys. We are back live. The First in Philly crew, ENFE. This is our first broadcast in a while. It's going on like 6 months, I think, last time we did this. Um, we got a special first broadcast of the season. Journey to the draft, which is tomorrow through Saturday, and we got a few topics that we wanna cover tonight since this is our first night back. I'm going to bring my guys on screen. Dale. We're gonna leave it at Dale because we don't have any games yet during the season, so we're gonna leave it at Dale for now. And we got Big Murph back there, so we are going to bring them on the screen. So here we go, and we are going to drop. There we go. So I'm Jersey J, that's Big Murph, and that's Big Dale, basically. And we're back, guys. We're back to do this broadcast. Hopefully we can keep this thing going through the season. We see we got some viewers down there. And we got a few topics to cover tonight. It's been somewhat of a long off season, even though it's only a couple months, but it feels longer this year for some reason. I think you guys know why. We just to cover a little bit of backdrop, we went through that little bit of a playoff run last year. Nick tried to spark some magic. That fizzed out at the end due to an Alshon Jeffrey drop, and then there's been some stuff going on ever since. So we're trying to get back to where we were, 2018. But here we are, the day before the draft, and what do you guys got?
I'm ready to start.
Wow.
Get the season going.
We're about what are we, about 5 months out now? About a little bit less than 5 months.
There'll be a mini camp right following the draft. It'll be like a 3-day mini camp. Then I think it's 2 more weeks, and there's like another voluntary mini camp that brings everybody together. Then I think they have the end of free agency comes about because they're gonna have a second run in June, and then they'll have the full mini camps that start in July. So June mini camp as well. So but those are non-contact. It's the the normal procedural type thing. So
Right.
yeah.
Right. So, based on these topics that we have tonight, I guess we're going to jump right into it. The hottest topic that's out there now, as we all know, is this whole green on green crime going on with Donovan McNabb and the rest of some current Eagles, some past Eagles. It basically, and we talked about this a little bit this week when we had some chats. Basically, what happened is McNabb went on he gave a quote somewhere saying basically that if Wentz doesn't do anything, he needs to stay healthy, number one. And then he needs to produce either a Super Bowl or at least some NFC championships over the next 2 to 3 years, I think he said. If not,
he said he needs to get to the second round at least in the next 2 years.
And if not, they need to start looking for a quarterback. Now, granted,
it was more like they need to move on.
Basically, same thing.
Right.
Now, and I could rock with what he said. I think it's his delivery. I think because he has a pass of the way he talks on these shows and gives these quotes. It sounds like he comes across as bitter, right? Comes across as he didn't get what he wanted when he was in an Eagle uniform. He didn't get the love from the fans, and the team didn't give him what he wanted, and he didn't get that chip. So he just seems altogether bitter about everything he has to discuss when it comes to the Eagle. Granted, he does give good points when he talks about Eagles and some other aspects of the NFL. I like his commentary, but I don't know what you guys think.
I mean, I do too. Part of the problem was it was McNabb, which he wasn't. I wasn't a huge McNabb fan. I liked what he did sometimes, but a lot of times he kind of negated what he did positively with stupid stuff. I think he kind of said what we're all thinking. I think Wentz has to stay healthy, or you got to kind of. I don't know if you got to move on if you don't get into the second round, but if he doesn't stay healthy, that's definitely a problem. And granted, it was McNabb. Everybody, McNabb was McNabb. I mean, he was a good quarterback. He wasn't horrible. He just said some stupid stuff here and there and kind of did choke in the big games. But I think he kind of, again, he said what everybody's thinking, you know? I didn't have a real big problem with it other than the fact that if you don't get in the second round, you got to move on. I don't know about that.
I don't know about that either. A little bit.
Yeah, the health concerns me. It does. I mean, Wentz is amazing, but if you're not ever healthy, it don't matter how amazing you are. You know.
I agree.
You got a point. I'm gonna preface my statement about McNabb to a statement I made myself. I want to say, what was it, Jay? December? Was it January? Somewhere? Okay, move the camera around. Right. Okay. So, little technical difficulty getting back in the nest here because got some changes, got a granddaughter and all that stuff. Room has changed. You see the pink backdrop? Don't judge me. That's paparazzi. Anyway,
leave that man alone.
Yeah, let me lead off by saying I made the same statement to one of my co-hosts that's on here right now, and he nah. What we need a quarterback for? You know what I'm saying? I think you remember that was before we went into the playoff run, and we don't need a quarterback and this and the other thing. And I'm not saying that to take a jab at you, but that's just two buddies talking about it. That's difference in opinions amongst Eagles fans, and it is what it is. But when it comes down to it, it's two things. Number one is Nick Foles is gone. So they need a third quarterback regardless, a developmental quarterback regardless. And I think, let me say this before we get into Donovan McNabb. Donovan McNabb is the best quarterback the Eagles have ever had. Franchise history, period, point blank, statistically and otherwise, wins, win percentage, interception to touchdown ratio, you name it. He never embraced the city. The city never embraced him. McNabb, everything he does is about McNabb. When we got T.O. and it wasn't about him, he didn't really want to get involved with people's money, how much they were made. It's a business. He always took the company line. And those type of people, those type of personalities, Philly doesn't receive them. We like the hardworking, tough guy that's going to say all the right things, do all the right things. And for the most part, McNabb's been about McNabb from when he was a player to right now. And his statements echo that same sentiment. So people are like, yo, come on, man, whatever. McNabb, you just running your mouth. But at the same time, is he lying?
Well, I mean, I don't think that he's lying. I think it's the presentation. I think it's the way he gives it off because the content is close.
If in the next 2 years, this guy gets hurt.
No, hold on.
Underperforms. This is the question. Wait, I'm asking the question.
Okay.
In the next 2 years, he gets hurt. He underperforms. He doesn't win a playoff game. What are you thinking? Is it time for Sutfield? Do we draft somebody? Or are you hoping that we have somebody laying in the weeds that potentially might be able to be that guy, I'm not saying we draft a guy with a 3rd round pick or a 2nd round pick, but a 5th or 6th rounder. Take a chance on Jackson from Buffalo, who's a developmental quarterback, big arm, 6'7", 235 pounds, or a Trace McSorley, who's going to wind up falling because he's small, but he's a leader, one in the Big Ten. Do you take a chance on a guy like that? Let him get coached by Doug, let him get coached by Grow and all those guys and see what he's got? Or, later after the fact, just as a precautionary measure with all the precautionary measures that we have with the team as a whole, as far as filling holes? I'm just asking a question.
So there's two aspects there. You lumped in injury with performance. So to me, I'm more so worried about injury. If he is healthy and he doesn't produce a Super Bowl or NFC Championship, I mean, it's our quarterback. I mean, we rode with McNabb for 10 years. So you willing to cut him loose if he stays healthy for the next 2 to 3 years, healthy, 100%, but he doesn't produce a Super Bowl, he doesn't get to the championship, but he gets to the 2nd round or wins a wild card game, you willing to cut him loose? I mean,
Cut them loose, but competition brings out the best in people. Remember McNabb and remember Michael Vick and remember what that quarterback room was like? He was looking over his shoulder. McNabb was concerned. But they were ready. Andy Reid was ready to make the transition because he knew McNabb was hitting that spot, and Kevin Cobb didn't give us anything. They drafted Cobb. Cobb was the heir apparent. That's what McNabb was talking about. So, I mean, is Wentz entitled to have 2 seasons where he's either injured or doesn't perform, and we continue to say, okay, we're all in on Wentz. We're all in on Wentz. We got 2 years and went by. 1 year he was injured. Next year he didn't do much. Now we won the Super Bowl in 2017, was it? And now it's 2021. Are we still going to be like, oh yeah, I'm just, I'm goofy for Wentz? Or are you going to be at a point where we need to see what else is out there. Maybe we waited too late, a la the Giants. He should have got rid of Eli 3 years ago. Maybe you can look at some other teams the same way. You can look at the Chargers that way. They got a new coach. They got a new push. Everything was ready to go. But a lot of times, classically, particularly the Eagles, i.e. Jason Peters, i.e. Darren Sproles, we hold on to our vets way too long.
that's
We
true.
hold on to guys that are past their
That's true.
prime way too long. Because we
People,
got guys we can't get rid of for the sake of the football team because we have an allegiance to them. Jason Peters should be gone, point blank, period. You know it. And I'm not going to say anything about Sproles because I don't want anybody throwing old fruit at me or
they will. These
stank
fans love Sproul.
vegetables.
43, you could, both of you. Remember last year you tried to do that. Those fans got all over y'all.
Man, I'm still on the
Listen,
same soapbox. I don't want
listen,
Sproles back.
listen.
Be mad. I don't know. Give me a young running back. Sorry.
You think he passed his prime now?
Yeah, a little bit.
Who? Who's this?
Wentz.
Sproles. Which one?
No, he said
Sproles,
Wentz.
Or...
No,
He said
Wentz.
Wentz.
No, Wentz is not past his prime.
Keep it on
Wentz
two.
hasn't hit his prime yet.
He's talking about after.
Close.
Are you talking about after the next 2 years if he doesn't perform? Yeah, I think that's what you're gonna.
Yeah.
After 2 years, if he doesn't perform, he probably needs to change the scenery. He probably
You
needs to get somewhere else where the expectation isn't as great, and he can just go in and he can be Carson Wentz, and he doesn't have to be the number 2 overall pick. And I don't want to drag this out real long. We've been talking about this for a minute. I'm just saying. You guys go ahead. Tell me what you think.
And while we're talking, I'm just going to flash this on the screen because it was something that he brought up after the fact. And I'll just go ahead and read this for the people that are listening. For those of you who misread or didn't understand, or were confused or just didn't like my comments, let me clarify it to you. Let me start by saying that there's no beef, riff, or ill will towards Carson Wentz or the Eagles. My comments were strictly based off experience and understanding of how the business of football works. Now,
man, get that picture out of there. Every time I see that big jug head and that goofy smile, I know. It's him, man. It's him. It's him. Like, he's a nerd. He's a weirdo. Like, he's just air guitar, man. Get him out of there, man. What are we talking about? Can we talk about something else? I want to talk about it.
Pressure just.
We're wasting time, man.
Come on, man. We got to stick to the script.
Talking about McNabb. He's doing it again. He's stealing his spot.
That's what he does. He steals the thunder. You know what he does. Yeah. That's it. That's how he stays relevant. He steals the thunder.
Exactly how. When he's not getting DUIs and messing with what was the girls, the interns and all that kind of stuff. Come on, man. Get that.
I'm gonna leave. I'm gonna leave that one alone. Yeah, I'm out.
Don't let him be the paparazzi for the NFL and start telling his tales and stuff out there. Anyway, next. McNabb.
Oh man, yeah, hey man, it's been the hot ticket for the last week and a half. Everybody's going nuts over it.
Is McNabb important to the success of this franchise?
Over.
No.
You fading over. Yeah. That's come on. What kind of
what
question?
He says matter? Does it matter at all? Like what he says, what he does. Does anybody really care? It's like here we go spouting off again. Shut up, Donovan. Go get a job.
Hey, you know how it is with these ex-Eagles. People love these ex-players. Some people hate them. Some people love them. But D-Mac is a 50-50. I mean, it's not like Dawkins. Dawkins is like a 98-2.
Yeah.
Like people love him. 98% of people love Dawkins. Probably 100. But
Right.
D-Mac, you looking at a 50-50, and it's always been like that. So, and then when he started talking, and then when he get himself in trouble with things outside of football, it just makes it worse. So, it is what it is with this guy. So,
I heard
I
him
mean,
on the radio. It sounded like he had a couple drinks before he came on, but I agree.
that's
I'm just
possible.
saying, he sound like a little slurred speak. Oh, he's ho 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 ho. You know, oh god, he's corny.
It's possible.
Yeah,
It's possible. So let's get on with the next topic. Free agent acquisitions. We wanted to get into that a little bit. What is the deal? I mean, we had a couple people in the beginning that we were looking at in the beginning of the free agency period. We picked up Malik from where did he come from? Did he come from the Ravens?
From Jacksonville.
Jacksonville. I thought he was in. He was with the Ravens at one point, or who was he with?
No, he was with Denver at one point.
Denver. That's right. That was his initial team.
Denver went to Jayville. Had a good year that first year when they were, making that run, and then second year he was struggling. The whole defense struggled. The whole team struggled.
Yeah, you need to come over a little bit and a little bit up. Yep, there you go. You're perfect. So yeah, because when you rewatch it, you're gonna be like, "Why you didn't tell me?" But yeah, there you go. You look good.
I gotta get an easel for this phone. Anyway.
So yeah. So what do we have on this one, guys? I mean, we didn't do a lot of work in the free agent market, but I mean, it's pretty much dead now. Either that or the Eagles are waiting for all the free agency salaries to play out so they can hit somebody at the low end at the backside.
Still out there.
Right, that's what I'm talking about. They're waiting for those positions to set the market.
Got signed by Kansas City, and what's his name? Jadeveon Clowney is still out there. T.J. Yeldon just got signed yesterday.
We can't afford those guys, right? We talked about Clark, and they gave up way too much for that, so we won't even.
I didn't want Clark with $17 million attached to him. I'm sorry, it didn't make sense. Go ahead, Dale.
I thought from the cap space they went into free agency, I thought they did okay.
Yeah, I think so. I think they did a good job.
Jackpot. He's back.
I like how.
Yeah, we got a little bit of that at the end, so we'll save that one. I just didn't tell you guys about that. So, but yeah, we did a little bit of work out there for free agency. Yeah. I think it was I think he did some magic. What are we sitting at now? 15, 16, 17, somewhere in that area?
27.
No. I think you had to deduct. There was some other money that needed to come off.
They reworked Ertz.
Yeah, what do we say about that? About another?
At 22 before that, right?
No. Man, now you're gonna make me lie. Hold on, I'm gonna go ahead and look it up.
About the other day, it's like 27 million.
Scrap space. Hold on, I'm gonna look it up right now so we can have a number. Let's see. But you guys can continue on with that conversation while I gather this.
I like the linebacker from Pittsburgh. I think he's the player. The middle linebacker they got from Pittsburgh. A lot of I was researching. I think it's Hoyt. This is the guy's name, Hoyt, or what's the linebacker that they just got from Pittsburgh? The inside linebacker.
Was it Fort?
Fort. That's his name. L.J. Fort.
Damn.
Right.
Yeah, he's good.
Yeah. I must bow down. 27.4 million, and we started out with what, negative?
Yeah, they were
negative
11 or 18, 12, something like that, somewhere in that range. Now they're sitting at 27. Well, they still got to pay Wentz, so I'm sure they're going to be looking at that at some time soon.
And Howie is the number 2 rated GM, really? Like, who's won? Who's that guy?
I don't know.
Super Bowl? What'd he do?
Who? I mean, I know we don't follow other teams, but who could possibly? Maybe Mike Mayock. They gave him a lot of money.
Okay, but he hasn't done anything yet.
Yeah, but what is this rating? What is this rating based off? What is it based off?
Based off performance from last year for GMs. It was a rating. I don't know who was one. I just read the article. Maybe
I barely even know any other GMs in the league, to be honest with you, because I don't follow those teams.
No, I don't either.
I know the guy that was with the Dolphins because he was awful. I know a couple other people, but nobody stands out. Like who would be number 1?
idea.
Well, the guy in the with the Rams last year, he did a heck of a job.
Oh yeah, he's all right. Yeah. He's okay. But you don't know. You don't even know his name, right? We don't even know his name because it barely comes up in the news.
Yeah, I'm ignorant to
Yeah.
the fact, but I'm sure he's out there. Rams fans know he is.
Yeah, I guess so.
Burks is pretty awesome when you think about it.
What's that?
The magic that he does do with restructuring. I mean, he's a math genius.
He is.
Okay, so let me ask this question, and maybe one of you guys can answer because I've already asked you this, Murph. He keeps restructuring these contracts, and he keeps getting money back in the budget, and he keeps giving people the money and a signing bonus. There has to be some type of rule, because if that was the case, why not just do that with all the players? Just give them the money and give them a signing bonus and count the other stuff back towards the back end. How does it work that he can continue to just forward money on a signing bonus to a player and then kick the small amount back towards what the cap is worth, and then he raises his cap? But then they always say he's doing that because he'll worry about it later. But what is he worrying about is if he's giving his money? I know you backload contracts. I got that part of it. But I'm still not clear how he can keep doing this and pushing money to a signing bonus, but their salary be lower. Because if that's the case, why not just do it with everybody?
Well, I'm speaking hypothetically, but only thinking about the NFL Players Association. They're going to safeguard the players on their contract. So if you sign a contract, there's guaranteed money, what have you, I have to imagine that it's going to be good for, like, you can't restructure a contract for a year or a year and a half, because a lot of these restructures, it's not like the guy just signed a contract 3 months ago. Normally it's like, well, they just did that contract last year, but they're reworking again. So they got the bonus off the first contract, or however the verbiage was structured. Then he turns around again and says, hey, we're going to rework it. And I'm almost thinking that when he's signing these guys to these contracts, that he's signing them and saying, yo, we got to set up for you right now, but we're going to make some adjustments depending on how you play, because he's not re-signing these contracts. These guys are losing money. He's just translating the salary money to bonus money and just pushing it through and then lowering the salary. That's what's happening every time, right?
But why not do that for every player?
Can't.
I don't. Why? How do you pick and choose when you can do it and how you do it? That's what I'm.
Look at somebody that's making $12 million and they're making $9 million against the cap, and $7 million is their salary. And you say we got to rework that number.
Yeah, but it seems like you're exploding your salary cap. It seems like you're doubling it up when you do that, because you're pushing. Let's just say somebody makes $15 million, and you're saying, you know what, forget it. I'm going to give him a $10 million bonus, and he's going to count $5 million towards my cap. Yeah, but then you're not really using the cap, right? What's the limit on the bonuses, and how does that work? That's the problem. That's what I'm trying to figure out in my head. Like, how does that work? Because it's amazing how he does it, but they always talk about like he's the only one that does that, right? But there's got to be other GMs that do that if he's doing it too, right? If it's within the rules.
Well, they do it, but they, all right. I'm sure they do it, but then the Eagles didn't sign Zeke Elliott and Dak Prescott and Amari Cooper, and you follow what I'm saying? It's not like a whole tier of high-end free agents. They got to get paid. You look at their offense and what they have now. Who's getting paid right now on offense besides Carson Wentz?
Yeah, but how does this matter? This is accounting. It doesn't matter the players. It's about money in two buckets and how you distribute it, right? And then there's a line in the back saying you can't spend more than X. That's what I'm trying to say. So forget about, that's what I'm saying. I don't understand how that works.
It has a point, but I'm saying let's look at Le'Veon Bell and Antonio Brown. 17 million and 19 million. That's $36 million. When you sign contracts like that, you pigeonhole yourself to where there's no, particularly with egomaniac players that want to get their money. You get stuck. So when you're going through the draft process or free agency process, you got to think about the character of the person, how much they love football, how much they want to play, whether they're in this because they want to be successful, they want to have a career, or whether they just want to get paid, buy gold chains, or buy, whatever they want to buy, ranches, whatever they're into. You follow what I'm saying? So I think it's not just the money side, but I think it's them calculating the character, the personality, the disposition, and the character, the overall character of the players that they're bringing in, putting them together, and they have a good mix. Do they have the top players all the time? But they got the good guys that they want to be a part of something that's going to lead to success. Everybody's not like that.
I got you.
I think that plays a part, a bigger part than what we realize. And then think about it. Think about the players that we have. It's kind of like, oh, we got him. He's good, but he's not that egomaniac.
No Le'Veon Bell.
Correct. No Tyreek Hills. No, we just don't have those players. No blonde hair guy, Odell Beckham Jr. We don't have those.
No, hold on. No blonde mustache guys or goatee guys or whatever whatever that nonsense was. What was that?
Denzel Washington was in that movie. He had that haircut.
Yes.
It was reverse Demolition Man 2019 version. Weird. Blonde mustache on a chocolate complected man. That's real smart.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that. I'm not sure how that even works.
Yeah. Where's your purse at, buddy? Anyway, with your blonde mustache. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead. No, go ahead. You got it.
Go ahead, Jay.
No, now you made me forget what I was going to say. No, I was going to ask Dale, did he have anything else he wanted to add on the free agency stuff?
I think it's just a big shell game, honestly, and I think I don't know. I think if the players are getting paid, they're going to kind of not raise a fuss about it. The Players Association isn't really going to say nothing because nobody's griping,
Yeah.
I think that a lot of the other teams probably do the same thing. We just don't, we worry about the Eagles and don't know that. So I don't know.
Right.
I think the salary cap is kind of a bogus thing anyway, honestly.
I do too.
I just think it's just tell the fans that it's a level playing field when it's really not. I mean, like you said, why can't you structure everything? And great, like you said, you'll have a couple guys that won't do it. But I tell you what, it's pretty impressive for Ertz to, that tells you his ego if he doesn't. He's top 3 tight end in the league, and he did it. That's kind of saying something for him. That he's
2
not
now.
an back. He just wants.
What's that?
Top 2 now.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, top 2.
Oh, because Gronk is going.
Yeah, that's right.
But,
he.
It's just something that I don't know. I don't think it holds a whole lot of water. I mean, look at, like you said, we're positive in the thing, and now we're 27 million ahead.
And a half.
Come on, we have signed how many guys?
I think we need. How much do we need to pay the rookies? The incoming rookies.
$5 million.
How much? It's 5.
Yeah.
Okay, so you still got 22. I mean, I know some of that money's gonna end up going to Carson. Either they'll carry it over when they're ready to sign him, or you already look like you got something to say. Your mouth is halfway open because you got you. And I don't know if you're gonna start about the payment to Wentz. I don't know if that is what it is.
Why you throwing water on me?
Because I know. I'm not sure if you want to pay him. I know how you are, and I'm not sure if you want to pay him, but you're gonna have to pay him. Now you could structure it the way you want, but you're gonna have to pay that man, especially when Ben just got a $30 million contract.
This is the first show of 2019. I know we're not going to start off like this. I'll make you spit your water out or whatever's in that cup.
It's nothing big. Trust me. I'm going to like.
Right.
But you're going to have to pay him.
Dale said something. You cut me off. You went way out here in the other stuff I wasn't going to talk about. I'm not talking about Fletcher Cox.
We'll come back around.
I'm not talking about Jason.
I told y'all.
No. Let me stay on task. Dale, you said something. You said how great of a guy that Zach Ertz did because he was willing to restructure his contract. But before you said that, you said everybody's not going to do it. Right. You're 100% right. You know who one of the everybody is not going to do it? Michael Bennett. They said they wanted to restructure. He said he wanted to raise. You know what they said?
See ya.
Bye-bye. See you later. Go over there with Bill Belichick and see if he'll give you that raise that you're looking for. So, character plays a part. I'm just saying, like he said, Antonio Brown is not going to do it. Le'Veon Bell is not going to do it. It's a whole laundry list of guys. That you think Davion Clowney, after he didn't play his senior year, finally got there with the Texans. You think he's going to take a pay cut this year? Heck
What is
no.
he making? What is his average salary? What is he making?
Dude, he's trying to make 20.
He ain't worth it.
I was gonna say, if you was gonna say something around 11, I'd pick him up.
Who?
I'd say if he wanted something like 11 or 12, I'd pick him up.
I don't like Davion Clowney.
I do. I think
he's a quitter. I never liked after that senior year, and I just don't like him.
Hey, listen, I'm in the business of trying to get guys on the line that can get to the quarterback. I know what you're saying, that he took the year off because he was trying. I remember all that. But I want guys that can get to the quarterback or that can get to the football. And it's the same as everything else that we talk about. Goons, whatever you want to call them. Guys that can play football and they can do it. And they're special. I mean, we need bangers on this team. I mean, we got a bunch. There's only a couple hard hitters really out there. That's Malcolm Jenkins. That's Brandon Graham. Fletcher Cox is not even really a banger. He can do what he needs to do. He's not a banger. Graham be out there smacking people, and you know it. You be hearing helmets, things crashing around when BG run into you.
Yo,
you know it.
Fletcher Cox is 325, and when he run up on you with evil intentions, man. He ain't no nice guy.
But he run up on quarterbacks. I'm talking about when you hear Brandon Graham hitting running backs. He be out there working. He be banging. He be banging. I mean, I would say Bradham to an extent too, but that's all. That's really it. Who else you got out there that's a banger? Barnett? Not really.
You talking about bangers and playmakers? Can we say that for like the draft portion? Like that's like which point is draft?
We rolling into that right now.
Yeah.
Do you think that? Yeah, I know what we were doing. I just run to roll up in there. I was going to just roll it all in there.
Roll on into the draft.
Here we go. We into the draft portion of the show, you guys. And this is probably going to be the biggest portion of the show because there's so many possibilities out there. I mean, we've been hearing this for weeks. We do this every year. Basically, we say we follow mock drafts. We listen to things that are people that are giving us ideas about if you look at 247 Sports, they have had almost everybody in the top 30 going to the Eagles. We got like 3 picks in the first 2 rounds. I mean, and I go over this with Murph all the time. Like, you can't have everybody. It's just not doable. I mean, you have to settle on, you got 3 picks in the first 2 rounds. We pick at 25. The question is this: do you move up because someone's fallen? Do you move back out of the first round amidst of all of us being mad because we stayed on to the end to watch the draft and we didn't pick a player? But do you move back and recoup another pick, like a third and maybe another second or whatever you're going to do, or trade spots with somebody in the first that wants somebody at 25 but they pick at 30 or 31? What do you do? I mean, what is the solution here? And if you don't move anywhere, who are you taking at 25? I already know what positions I want at 25. The players, I'm not so sure about. If we're gonna take a running back in the first round, it's Jacobs or nothing. I mean, it's that or nothing. But my real feel is that I would rather go for a linebacker in the first round. It probably won't happen. Either Devin Bush or Devin White, one of those 2 guys. The other guy, you can get him probably in the second, or if we have a 3rd round pick at some point, that he may drop that far. I'm not sure, but what do you guys think? I mean, Dale, what are you looking at? We'll save you, Murph, because I know you got a lot.
I think Bush is. I think Bush will be in the 2nd round. I think they're going to drop back and get him.
You think Bush will go all the way to the 2nd round?
I do.
Whew.
I do.
Wow. And he in White. So you're saying that White would be the first linebacker off the board?
I believe it.
I think so. I thought that too. That White is I think he's a more complete player. Mm-hmm. But Bush's stock has gone up a little bit since this whole thing has started about 3-4 weeks ago. But I just, for me, I need a sexy pick in the first round. Somebody that's going to make an impact. And impact players are linebacker, defensive line, running back, possibly wide receiver or quarterback, and there really are no. Obviously, it's not going to be a quarterback, and we don't need a receiver that bad that we're going to reach in the first round for a receiver. So, who's the pick? If it's an offensive lineman, Jesus help us. I mean, it's just not a sexy pick. I mean, that's just my feeling on it.
Dale, I don't agree with you at all, but I hope you're right, and I hope I'm wrong, because if Bush falls into the second round, I believe he'll be playing in Philadelphia. I'll be 100%. I don't think, even though they didn't look at him, I think, I don't know, but if he falls, he's got some London Fletcher in him. I don't know whether you guys remember London Fletcher from, he's 5'9", a monster, handled the middle, understood his responsibilities. He played for the Rams and played for the Redskins. He used to give us fits when he played for the Redskins, man. And when he played for the Rams. I couldn't stand that dude. Little guy, just everywhere, always in the way. And this guy has those same abilities, except for he's physical, man. I mean, really, 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 really physical.
And part of that may be wishful thinking on my part, because I'd love to.
Right. I love the kid too. Right.
Watch him a little bit. I mean, if he's there in the first round, I don't know that anybody's going to get him ahead there. I mean, I don't know. I hope not. I would like to see. What do you think of that guy? I know he's an offensive lineman, but man, that dude's a tank.
Who's that?
Oklahoma. Which one are you talking about?
Oh, Cody Ford?
Yeah.
From
Oklahoma.
Yeah, there's been a lot of chatter about him lately. Yeah.
He can play tackle. He can play guard. He's flexible. He's a big kid. He's played for 3 years.
And he's going to go in the first, right?
Probably.
He's more than likely going to go in the first.
Yeah.
There's only years left.
It's a hard call. It really is a hard call. I mean, we pick at 53 and 57 in the second, so those are kind of close to each other. I just assume trade out of the first round and try to pick up another 2 picks. You know, maybe replace that third and pick up somebody's second or move up. Or, I mean, I wouldn't mind having 3 second-round picks and then replace the third, and it's got to be something else with that, right? A player or something else going on, right? If we move back.
If you get 4 picks in the top 75, that's tremendous.
Not bad.
Yeah.
You know, Brownies have 3 first-rounders.
I think he favors his reputation, and he wants to make up for that third-round lost pick for Golden Tate. And who even knows? How do we know Howie was the one that pushed for Golden Tate?
It doesn't even... I don't, man, listen, I'm going to rewind the tape. I'm going to figure out a way to rewind the tape on these shows, because I remember that pick happened, and I was like, why? Why are we wasting the third? A fourth, maybe? We had 2 for. It's just, it's a bad, I mean, even after the fact, it's even worse now that, you know, we gave up that third, because if we had that third, we'd be sitting pretty good right now with those picks. We'd be having 2 seconds, a first and a third, and they would be in good locations. We'd be sitting pretty tight. So I could see him moving back to try and recoup a pick. I could see that happening.
I remember I took up for him about that pick because I was so desperate to have something get the offense started, because we were just stalling. It was just no movement. Like, I don't understand what was going on with Wentz.
Well, you know now.
Locked in the Ertz. Like,
you know now. You used to play quarterback a little bit. I mean, try playing quarterback with a broken back. He shouldn't even have been out there, right? So I mean, whatever happened to him, whatever was going on, he shouldn't have been out there.
I don't want to.
He shouldn't have been out there
and all that stuff.
He shouldn't have been out there, and you know it. And I don't know why they put him out there. So I'm gonna leave it at that.
He shouldn't have been out there. I don't think they put him out there. I think he put himself out there because he didn't want to watch Nick Foles have any more success and then jeopardize his potential in Philadelphia. And that's just being that's just competing. That's being a competitor. That's just, how it is. I don't take it as anything like, where it was like uber selfish. It's like, I don't want to sit up on the sidelines for 2 years and watch my backup. Like, who wants to do that? I'm a player. Players play. You can't play in the training room. That's why he's got to stay healthy.
I got that.
He's a competitor. I believe he really wants to prove himself, and that's why he was out there. He was out there more than what he should have been out there. Nobody wants to sit on the sidelines hurting. if I can walk, I can go. You know what I'm saying? If I can make a fist, I can throw. You know, there's nothing wrong with my finger, nothing wrong with my wrist. I'm good to go. I make a fist. It's good. But more than these different things, I looked at their track record. I'm gonna just go through this real quick. The last three picks, Wentz. Well, actually, it was Goddard, Barnett, and Wentz. All three picks played a minimum of 3 years of college football. All three picks were productive in their 3 years played of college football. And these are the picks that they've made since Joe Douglas and Howie Roseman have been, the tag team in the front office. So I firmly believe, and also these picks were picks that were definitive needs, except for Goddard. Goddard was a luxury.
No.
That wasn't a need pick.
No, it wasn't at all.
No, that's the only one. But the consistencies are these guys were leaders on their football team. They were all hard workers, all worked their butts off, no character flaws, no issues like that. So when I look at this year's draft, I look at positions of need, and we really got our biggest hole was probably defensive line because Chris Long is coming back, but he's old, man. Brandon Graham just re-signed. He's 30. Probably got 2 years out of him. We signed a 3-year contract. He's old.
Defensive line.
Yeah, defensive line.
Defensive line.
Yeah, we got Derek Barnett coming off an injury last year. He's still, a dog. He's going to get back into it and do his thing. We got Josh Sweat we got last year from Florida State. Unproven, hurt all year. We don't know. Needs to put on some weight, get stronger. Got rid of Timmy Jernigan. He's not there anymore. We bought in Jackson. Jackson's 30, 29, somewhere like that. It's an older bunch.
What about Vin
Carson?
Curry?
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Don't forget Vin Curry.
Another 30-year older, right?
Yeah.
So where you? I'm trying to get. You're going somewhere. I know it. I'm just trying to get to where you're trying to get to in your mind. Where are you going? Who are you heading
tackle,
to?
Defensive end. That's going to be their first pick.
I keep saying Wilkins from Clemson. I keep saying it.
Wilkins is falling, and Wilkins he will mimic Fletcher Cox. I'm going to tell you a guy to look out for that they looked at late. Jerry Tillery from Notre Dame. He's 6'7". He's 295 pounds, and he played for 4 years at Notre Dame. And he was consistent for 4 years at Notre Dame. Not huge sack numbers, but just, impact player in the middle. And I believe they're going to be young at defensive tackle. If they get Tillery, he will be a later first rounder, if not a second rounder. And then you might see a Titus Howard, who came in as a quarterback, went to the smaller school, but, dominant offensive lineman for 3 years. Or you see a Cody Ford. Or you see the kid from Oklahoma State. That's the guard, but I think he won't come until the second round because you don't draft guards in the first round. So, and Dexter Lawrence is another guy, defensive tackle from Clemson, 6'5", 330-something pounds, also 3-year starter, same type of impact. Or Jeffrey Simmons, the defensive tackle who fell because he had an injury, who comes from Mississippi State. Fletcher Cox, alma mater. There's already connection there because Fletcher Cox is there. He doesn't know the kid, but the kid's got Fletcher Cox like talent, and they're going to build that offensive line and that defensive line because they have to protect Carson. They don't want to have to do it through free agency after he gets 30, 35 million, or maybe 40 if he gets close to a Super Bowl. So they got to get that line right, offensively and defensively. Schwartz is not going to blitz. That's not going to change. He's going to rely on his defensive line to get to the quarterback. They lost Bennett. They could be losing Long soon. Also, watch Montez Sweat, who was dropping.
He's dropping because of his congenital heart condition or something. He has another condition too. So,
I agree with you though, Jay. I don't think they make the pick at 25. I think they move up or they move out. But I don't think they pick at 25 because I think Howie wants a third. And you hear these rumors, Aguilar possibly being traded. You hear Russell Douglas or Jalen Mills possibly being traded. Where there's smoke, there's fire. Somebody's going to get moved, whether it's for a first rounder, for a second rounder, or that third rounder that we lost, somebody is going to reap a dividend because they know they need to build through this draft.
No, the fire is you putting the post up on the site saying, "What about Aguilar?" They again.
They went
The
nuts.
lynch mob was coming after you again. There's certain players that these fans they don't care. They won't even look at the fact that he only had like 700-800 yards receiving and a couple
70
touchdowns.
yards
They
in
don't count.
the season.
They don't.
What does he catch? 50 balls, 40
They don't
stuff,
care.
even 40
They don't
balls?
care.
People
They
love
like
$10
certain.
million
They like
a year, he getting
they like
done
certain
money for
numbers.
that? Come on.
They like certain numbers on the team. If you said that the McLeod was going, and you put a post up, people wouldn't even bother. They wouldn't even blink an eye. They'd be like, fine. The real people that know football, they might give some explanation that might be worth looking at. But there are certain players on this team
that know football. Oh my
Yeah.
God.
Well, I'm just saying, if you say
Right.
you say certain players on this team, if you
Right.
talk about them or you reference them to leaving or something bad, the lynch mob
Aaron
comes after you.
Jason
40.
Peters. Oh my
Yep.
God. Chris
Yeah.
Long. Don't say nothing about Chris Long.
Oh, I remember that one.
Oh my God.
Come after you.
Oh my God.
Chris
But
Long.
everybody has to understand the stuff I put up there is only echoing rumors. I'm not saying get rid of Aguilar. I ain't saying sell him out of town.
They don't care. They come after you either way.
But I didn't do it though.
They
All
come
I did
after
was
you.
put the information up there and said, "What do you think? Would you get rid of him?"
Put a post up there, and we got to give you some access to the site, Dale, so you could start posting some stuff up there. But put a post up there and just put Darren Sproles sucks and see what happens. Listen. I'm trying to tell you. I had a conversation on another post. It was another Eagles site. It might have been Eagle Zone. And we're referencing you guys. I know you guys watch our site because I see some of the posts we put up, and you guys, about an hour later, you put posts up that are very similar to ours. So I know you guys watch sometimes, so don't front. But anyway, so there was a post out there that said that Fletcher Cox wasn't the best defensive guy. And they were saying, the Eagles Zone was saying that Malcolm Jenkins was the most consistent, and I actually agree with that. It wasn't because I think that he's a better defensive guy. I think he's more productive, and I think in the positions that he plays in and his versatility, that he produces more.
No.
Now, I know, but as an impact player, for things that go on in his section of the field, Malcolm Jenkins has been doing it for a minute, and he holds it down when he doesn't have a lot around him. Cox always has, a certain level of talent around him. But we know the defensive backfield has been a mess the last couple of years, right? It's only starting to kind of trend upward. But Fletcher Cox has always had some people around him that can rush the passer, get those sacks, and, blah, blah, blah. But I just don't understand, people are just like, no, this is impossible, because they think, because the analysts say, oh, Cox a beast and he has this, so you're supposed to say that Cox is the best player. But I just don't agree with that. I mean, I don't know what you guys think about, but I just don't agree.
No, I don't either. I think he's a good player. I think he's slightly overrated. I mean, I thought he would really kick it up last year with Bennett next to him and stuff. And he was good. He wasn't the defensive player of the year like he wanted. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's not the best.
He seemed to be sagging at parts of last year. I don't know if it was the whole team, but he seemed tired most of the games, like midway through the game. And I know he was hurt for a little while, but I just wasn't too sure about him last year. No, and then that whole thing started creeping in my mind, because Murph was always saying, I'm going to put you out there and they're going to come for you, because this is what happens. That we know that no, because you said it. You said it, and I know you're going to have to agree with me when I say this.
Okay.
We've already restructured his contract once, Fletcher Cox. He makes a lot of money. Right. Something else is probably going to be done, but eventually, if they go after Wilkins in the draft or another young kid, you might start looking, as you say, at moving Fletcher Cox off the roster and moving young blood into the roster, possibly. Now that is something that will get you killed on the site because they won't
Okay.
ever want to hear that. But the truth of the matter is, to pay your quarterback, you can't have all these big contracts out there. You just can't do it
Amen.
unless you're going to
Hallelujah.
pay everybody a high
Right.
signing bonus and pay everybody else $5 million a year, like we were talking about earlier. You just can't do it. So something has to give.
That's all I'm saying. That's all I ever said. You know, we can be loyal to the Philly bred athletes that were drafted by us and all that, but y'all know doggone well Brandon Graham accepted $10 million a year because he wasn't going to get much more anywhere else. He wasn't going to get that much money, and if he got the money, he would have to substitute the money for losing. And he don't want to go nowhere and lose. And quite frankly, that's why he took less money and stayed. That's why the character of the player that you draft and that you bring into your circle, you bring into your defensive line room, offensive line room, what have you, is important. Michael Bennett, prime example, did not fit, had to go. Tons of talent, tons of production, but we don't want you here. Bye
At
bye.
the end of his career too. So there
Yeah,
was you don't go up
right.
at the end. So I mean, it's just I rewatched that Bears game, the playoff game, and there was a real critical foul that he committed. If we would have lost that game, I know you guys remember that play. And then there was other things that he was going through outside of football. So appreciate his hand during the season last year, but when you start talking, I want to raise, and they start talking, we need you to take less. You gotta go. We got a lot of other players. We got
He
Barnett coming
said,
back.
He said, take a discount. I want more money. I
Right.
said, get
Yeah.
this joker out of here, man. You must not know you in Philly now. This ain't Seattle. I know you got, things you want to set up for your retirement and all that because you're 33 years old, but you're not getting more money out of Philly.
Yeah. Well.
You ain't good enough. Anyway,
Well.
yeah,
That's that. Yeah. That's that. So back to the draft, so we can tie it up. What's your pick for the first 3 picks?
If they stay at 25, they get Simmons. I don't
Let's
think
just say they stay where they are. 25, 53, 57. Who are your 3 picks?
If they stay at 25, if they stay at 25 and Lawrence is there, or
You can just do position. Position is fine because it's difficult.
I'm going player.
You going player?
Yeah.
All right.
If they stay at 25 and Lawrence is there, or either one of them boys from Clemson defensive tackles there at 25, they're gonna pick one of them. It's either gonna be Wilkins or Lawrence.
I agree with that.
Yeah. Second round, Miles Sanders. If he's not picked, they don't move up for him in the second round. But they're going to go 1-2. They're going to get Sanders or Josh Jacobs, Sanders, or Darrell Henderson. I don't see anybody else in the second round.
Henderson
because
is more
these
like
guys both. Well, the only thing is Sanders and Jacobs don't have the 3-year production of Henderson. Henderson 3 years back to back, 1,000 yards, 6.9 yards a carry. His 2017 last year, 8 yards a carry, explosive, big plays. That's what they want.
Jacobs is actually dropping because of that fact. The fact that scouts they're worried about his production, that he hasn't had enough production. He's thinking. I think maybe him or his team was thinking we'll save him for his pro career. But in fact, now scouts and teams are saying you don't have enough mileage on you because we don't know what you're going to do when you get to the pros because you haven't played enough, you haven't seen enough. So they're worried about that, and that could be a farce. It could be just something to throw the teams off, but it's a real thing. I don't see him taking Henderson in the second. That's a little bit of a reach because he's not a 3-down back.
Maybe the second round pick for Henderson.
It's a little bit of a reach.
Those other two guys, you're gonna have to move up in the second to get them. They're not gonna be there at 53 or 57. They're gonna go earlier because I think Chucky, in his weird world, he has a romance for Josh Jacobs, even though he doesn't run the ball. So I don't even. I don't know. He throws the
But,
ball out. The guy can catch the ball in the backfield. Henderson and Sanders, they can both catch the ball in the backfield. They want that kind of back. You know, third round, fourth round picks is going to be like a Justice Hill or the
oh,
kid
you got
from
him.
Temple.
You got him taking 2 running backs.
No. If they don't get a running back with the second round pick,
Okay.
potential third
All
round
right.
picks, Justice Hill, Bryce Love in the fourth or the fifth.
Still hurt.
Yeah, I know, but he's got potential.
Yeah, he does.
Justice Hill, Bryce Love, Raquel Armstead from Temple in the fourth or the fifth. I like the guy Rodney Anderson from Oklahoma.
He's
He
okay.
would have been a first round pick if he didn't get hurt. He's got
Yeah, he's okay.
full bag, you know.
Yeah, he's all right.
I wouldn't count him out, but I think that's about it because they're gonna get a kid that gonna.
You gave us your whole mock.
No. I'm just talking about running back. Solely talking.
Oh, you're talking about running backs.
Yeah.
Well, Dale, what's your first 3 picks?
I'm linebacker. I think they're going to go first. Defensive tackle.
Man. I would love them to go linebacker first.
I would love that.
Now, Howie. Listen. Get Bush.
I had heard where the rumor for Aguilar started. Apparently, the Eagles' front office and coaching loves that Marquise Brown.
Oh, no.
I know. And that's
just I'm gonna take you off the screen.
Why? I told you, bro. I told you.
I'm talking about him, Dale, because he been whispering Marquise Brown in my ear for the last 4 weeks or something. Like 4 weeks. I just don't see us. Man, a wide receiver.
That's what I had heard. Aguilar thing. They want to keep Jackson for a year, maybe 2, and plug this kid in when he's gone.
It would work, but our needs are greater than that right now.
On the jet plane, that dude is fast, man. Fast and productive.
For my first 3 picks.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Linebacker, running back.
Which one?
Jacobs.
You don't like Miles Sanders.
I don't. You know why? I watched this tape. I watched a lot of this tape. I watched. No, I watch my man as an alumni too, and I listen.
Oklahoma's your squad. You should like Marquise.
Yeah, I no. It's not that I don't like him. I like him in another draft when our needs are a little bit higher than wide receiver right now. We need a left. Hold on. We need a left tackle. We need a left guard. We don't know what's going on with our right guard. We probably need a safety, true safety, probably 2, because you're looking to get rid of Mills and Douglas, who could become safeties.
McLeod is gone.
You need to say. So is Malcolm. Malcolm. He got 2 years left max. You got to start grooming a safety.
Is going next year.
Yeah, well, you said that this offseason, but he's back. So you never know. I don't trust him anymore.
Contract for $1 million.
Yeah, but we said he was gone after last year.
He was getting what, 9?
Doesn't matter. We said he was gone. Remember, we were done with him, and now we don't even know when he's coming back. Right? I just don't trust them.
Aren't you glad to have him back after last year?
Well, I don't know when he's coming back. Is he coming back mid-season? I don't know. So at this point, I'm just not sure about this whole safety position because we need 2 safeties back there. To be honest with you.
Where do you think you from Florida will be?
Who? Gardner Johnson?
Yeah.
No, Gardner Johnson. Yeah, there was a lot of chatter about him a few weeks ago. But some people got him going at 25. Yeah. Some people have him going at 25.
There.
I wouldn't be. I wouldn't be upset. Yeah, I wouldn't be upset at that pick. It depends on. When I'm saying I wouldn't be upset, I grade the draft with my own grades of who I wanted, who I like, and what they actually did. And we do need a safety. I recognize that we do need a receiver, but I recognize that we need other people. I know we have Jordan that just came in at running back, which we didn't even discuss under the free agent acquisitions, which is a big piece, right? Because they may just say we have Howard, and we're not even gonna get anybody else. I could see it happening because
If
I could see
if
it
they
happening
brought him
because
in,
that's
if they tried to sell that crap, man, that would be
hey,
like
they
when
could
the
say
Sixers had them bums and they was trying to sell that. Oh, we got
this
Embiid, he's just not here yet.
this is a
We got
1 year
Smith, he's
rental.
not playing.
We already know it's a 1 year rental, and they could say we'll get our back next year. We'll go with Jordan Howard this year. We're good. We got a couple other guys, and we'll just roll with that. I could see them doing that because they got positions of need at other positions. I could see them completely ignoring the running back position again.
So we got Jordan Howard, Old Man Sproles, and the
No, forget Sproles. Forget Sproles. We got him. We got Clement. We got
the walking wounded.
which
Adams, the walking
you said,
wounded. Who
yeah,
else?
no,
Name
Adams got to
the
go.
bums.
Adam is too
Smallwood, the
stiff.
walking wounded.
Actually, I know I've been hard on him, and I don't want him. But those last couple games, showed up in the last couple games of the season. He's a third down back. He can
Smallwood
get you a
is a
couple yards here and
bum.
there, but
He's a
they
bum.
like him. They like him for some reason. He's been there for a couple years.
He's a
They
bum.
they like him.
I don't like him.
Yeah, we already had that conversation. You used to, but you came around. I mean, he's definitely not a 3 down back. So you could just forget that. But yeah,
He
you need a running
fumbles
back.
the ball.
But I got a feeling they're going to go for a utility back later. Like you said, a Justice Hill, and they're going to depend on Jordan Howard. I could see that happening. Rather than going with a 1-2 punch or somebody that you know is going to be your back going forward, your 3 down back going forward after Jordan Howard leaves next year, because they're not going to pay him a whole bunch of money, right? That's out of the question.
No.
So I got let me just say my picks. Linebacker. I got linebacker. I want running back. I want running back, and my second round pick, I would probably say defensive lineman. I would probably go there. I wouldn't be mad. I wouldn't be mad at an offensive lineman or a receiver. I don't think we need the receiver right now, but everybody wants everybody right now. It's the day before the draft. Everybody wants everything. I mean, if we were Oakland, we had 3 first-round picks. It wouldn't be any need to discuss any of this stuff. We'd be sitting real pretty right now. We could fill all the holes with 3 first-round picks. They got it made. But like I said,
you got to trade that for a 5-11 record.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. But
round picks. You bums.
No, not. Oh, hold on. Not necessarily. Not necessarily. If you would have traded Wentz and left Foles. This guy gets mad every single time. You know why? Because he was saying that forever. He wanted to trade Wentz and get those picks for Foles. He had us getting about 42 first-round picks for Foles for Wentz.
Why you always make light of me? 42.
You had us getting all these picks.
For Wentz, I go right to Chucky, right out there to the Raiders.
We know he loves Wentz.
He loves Wentz.
Yeah, no doubt.
There's
no doubt about that.
I get a third this year. I get a first next year, and I get a fifth next year. That's doable. That's Carson Wentz. You keep Foles. You got 2 firsts. Do what you will.
Mm-hmm.
Do what you will. You can get an offensive lineman and a defensive lineman in the first round. Then you got 2 seconds. You can address running back and don't get me. I don't even want to. Let's stick to the show. I don't.
Yeah, no, we sticking to the show. I'm just gonna say this.
Yes, sir.
We made the trade and we did all the stuff that we did, and now we are. We have to back Wentz up. But my whole thing is, I read an article about a week or 2 ago saying that he wasn't healed yet, and in my head, I started thinking, oh God, what's going on? What exactly is his timetable, and what exactly is wrong with him? I just hear back. I don't know anything else about that because I haven't dived into it. But he needs to play. He needs to be ready for the start of the season, or these fans are gonna kill the Eagles if he's not ready for the beginning of the season, or the same thing happens again. You're gonna have a mutiny on your hands when it comes to this, because it's gonna go right back into what it was before.
Hey,
and I'll leave it there.
Watching, look at Tyson Jackson from Buffalo, 6'7", 235, something like that. He's gonna be a 5th, 6th round pick. He can run. He's got a cannon, and he's developmental. He won't put any pressure on Wentz because He's all he's gonna be doing is running with the practice squad and the scout team all the time. But I believe if Doug gets his hands on him, who's the other kid, the quarterback coach that was the red zone designer? I can't think of his name. He's got a different name. He was a quarterback coach last year. They just moved him up when they made Road offensive coordinator. I can't think of his name right
No, I
now.
can't think of
Anyway,
his name.
he's been around. He was with them, but he wasn't. He was like quality control or something like that. He wasn't a quarterback coach, but he did organize their red zone offense. He was a big part of that. Special plays. I believe he designed Philly. I
Okay.
can't think of his name right now, but anyway, you get a kid like that, you bring him in, or Trace McSorley, and I know McSorley is smaller, and yeah, I'm a Penn State homer because I watch Penn State. I watch their players. So I can give you a good read on Miles Sanders. I can give you a good read on the cornerback that they got coming out of Penn State, who is a monster. He's got an African name, can't say it right now. Long story short, McSorley is a player. 5th round, 6th round, sit somewhere. He's gets a chance to pick up, gets a chance to learn, gets a chance to get coached. I'm gonna tell you where you don't want McSorley to go. You let him wind up in New York with his old running buddy Saquon Barkley. We're gonna have some problems. But you get a couple of those guys. Carson's not upset. You stash them, you develop them, and you see what happens. I'm telling you. And I love Tyson Jackson. Go check him out. I'm telling you, YouTube monster.
All right, check them out. We got a little bit of time before tomorrow. We got less than 24 hours now, right? So there's going to be speculation from now until then. But again, you don't know what they're going to do, and there's always somebody reaching every draft. So these mocks and all the stuff that we talk about, you could say, well, this person's fallen, and there's no way this person's going to go there. But someone reaches every year. A couple people reach every year, and then a couple people do things that we don't expect them to do. Sometimes I hear names. I'm like, who is that? You know what I'm saying? And I'm talking about like in the first, second round. I'm like, who is that? So these things happen. So at this point, we got less than 24. We might as well just wait on it. That's what I say. But let's get to the last part of the show. We wanted to talk a little bit about the schedule this year. The schedule came out. There's a lot of talk about the strength of schedule that we had versus what the Cowboys had. They're saying that the Cowboys, well, some people think the Cowboys is a little bit mediocre. I tend to think myself, it's just my opinion, not the opinion of the other guys on the panel, that we have somewhat of a, if our team plays the way it should and we get all the people back that we're going to get, that we could run the table. And I'm looking more at a projection of maybe 13-3, 12-4, because everybody that's on that schedule, that the hardest game I see out there is Green Bay at home in Green Bay. And I know you're going to say they're going through turmoil, they're going through some transition, but they still got 12, and that's an issue. We get Seahawks at home this year, which if it was over there, I would say chalk it up as a loss, because for some reason, once Russell Wilson, he's an evil killer. But getting them at home and getting the Patriots at home might be some really nice games for us. And other than that, I don't know, our divisional games, the Cowboys, forget about the Giants and the Redskins. The Cowboys, maybe we split. I think we're a better team than them. I think we can beat them both times. We always think that, right? But there's always mostly a split.
Like those bumps, we get cheated on the call.
Something always happens.
Pass interference. Remember the pass interference on Goddard? 87-yard touchdown. What is that? But,
there's always something that always happens that we can't count those as wins. But we have for the rest of the games we have, and I don't have anything to put on the screen, but the hardest game that we have, I think, are we have the Vikings, we have the Packers, we have the Falcons, we have the Lions. These are all games that are winnable. We got the Bills, we got the Bears. Again, the Seahawks, the Packers, and the Patriots are probably the hardest games that we have. And I think, being that we're going to be playing two of those at home, they're winnable. And the Patriots don't have Gronk. I know the Patriots are always tough, but we can beat them. I mean, it'll be I think this is going to be the first matchup between Wentz and Brady, if I'm correct.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I think so. So it's the heir apparent versus the old man that's going out. It would have been so if it had been in that Super Bowl. That would have been the perfect lead in. If he would have played in that Super Bowl instead of Foles. I'm grateful for Foles and everything, um, but I got him sitting at 13-3, 12-4 if they can get all their guys back. What about you guys?
Yeah, I agree with that 12. That's where I was, as long as they're not starting the season with Sudfeld. But yeah, no, I think they're going to go with the Cowboys because that's what they always seem to do, no matter how good they are.
Right.
I think the Seahawks, like you said, Wilson, he could have nobody around him and he'll still bring his A game and do something stupid against the Eagles. I think I think they get the Packers. I think they can beat them. They're a mess. Yeah, I mean the Lions, the Bears. I mean that's nothing. I don't see them doing. I think the Bears are going to have a. I work with a lot of Bears fans and I'm hackling them all the time. But I think a bad. I don't think. I just think that quarterback is going to be glaringly bad this year. I'm hoping.
And
But
keep in mind, we have the Lions and the Bears in Philly.
right,
So
right. That's a
that,
non. I think there's a couple. There's always a game there where they kind of look flat, so there's a loss. They always have one of them every year. I think 12-4 is really attainable
mm,
as they're healthy.
yeah, as long as they're healthy, as long as they get their guys back. And it's going to be a big deal whether or not we get our right guard back. That's a
Yeah,
huge deal at this point. So I know he went down towards the latter part of the season. Maybe it was in December.
yeah.
But for some reason, these offensive line guys, they come back faster than other guys, and they're
No,
big. So I don't know how they do it, but they're putting
yeah.
all that weight on that limb, and they're able to come back. But what do you got, Murph? What do you got? What are you going? What are you gonna go with?
I don't know. I was gonna be a clown and go 16-0 just to be like,
Right, right.
ridiculous.
Dream team.
Nah. Honestly, man, I think they wind up like 10-6, 11-5. I think Wentz gets hurt. I think they have a couple of hiccups somewhere in the midseason. They piece it together and they make a run, but I don't think. You know what I think they'll do? I think they'll beat Seattle. I think they'll beat New England, and I think they'll lose to um, the Bears, the Vikings, and freaking Detroit and the Cowboys and uh, the Redskins or something. Like
Yeah,
there's teams that they shouldn't lose to. They'll lose to. They'll lose to the Cowboys because the NFL wants it that way because they want it to be a rivalry, even though we're a whole lot better than them. They're losing the Redskins by default at home or something, just something dumb. And then
Nah,
the
I could rock.
Vikings, the
I
Vikings
could
figured them out last year. I don't
I
know
could
what was
rock with
going
if you
on,
said
but they beat our behind.
if you said the Jets because they got Le'Veon, they added some pieces. I might be able to rock with that. But the Redskins are even a bigger mess
yeah. They're a whole.
than Green Bay right now. They are terrible. I mean, they don't even have a QB at this point. So
Probably going to get a quarterback from Ohio State too, because Doug
I'm
Williams is there and
all right. Well,
Haskins to play.
all
I'm just
right.
letting you
Well,
know, he ain't gonna come out and be a dud like everybody
yeah.
thinks. The Giants are going, they're gonna blow it by not getting them.
Send them all, Jimmy. Send them all.
Send them all.
It's the rookie. It's
Number
the rookie.
rookies.
Send them all.
Yeah. Good luck with that. We'll be sitting up there together, me and you, looking at each other. They're playing 20 yards off the line of scrimmage.
Send
What
them
are they
all.
doing? Here we
Yeah.
go again. Run the ball, Doug. Run the ball, Doug. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna be going
Yeah,
to it. You know we are. They do what they do. It's almost like it has to happen ceremoniously, so it gives us a reason to have heart problems and stuff because we're watching the game about to have a stroke because we're like, yo, what's about to happen? Why are they not doing this? Captain Obvious. I don't know. 11-5. Maybe they get off to a hot start. They stay that way. They get the magic. I don't know. I worry about Wentz 100%. If Wentz is not there, it changes things. We don't have Foles as a safety net anymore, and that's my biggest fear. I'm just being a realist, guys. That's it.
Nothing wrong with that.
If Wentz was 100% last year, And he dealt with all these receivers, all these backs in the past. They had continuity the whole nine. All they had to do was work out together all summer down in North Dakota, and everything was good. I could see 12-4, but we still got a lot of moving parts, different guys coming in like we do every year. And, who's his running back? You ever know everybody's saying Jordan Howard, but he got moved for a box of chocolates for a reason.
Right. No, I agree
You
with
know
that.
what I'm saying? Like, 6th-round pick. Oh, Howie is a genius. Yeah, Howie is a genius, but they didn't want to have anything to do with the guy anymore. They went and got a quick back that can catch, that can run, that's explosive and can make plays that Doug desperately wants. I'm telling you, don't be surprised if you see Justice Hill as a Philadelphia Eagle by Saturday. I'm telling you.
They can get them. They can get him all he wants, but he's not a 3-downer. So I don't know how they're going to handle that. And
Same reason why they're interested in Marquise Brown is the explosive big play. This is what the league is. It's a pass league. Nobody's even running the ball like that anyway. It's 50 points, 40 points, 30 points is how you win in this league. You outscore teams because they don't, the defense is at a disadvantage on every play. Can't touch nobody. Don't hit the quarterback on top of his head. Oh, you plucked him with your finger after he was down. Personal foul, 15 yards. You know what it is. So, you got to have some guys out there that can make big plays, period.
I agree.
That's
So
what I'm saying.
Toward the latter part of the program, we would be remiss if we did not do a little bit of a tribute to this man that is now back with the Eagles. Number 10, who went and got his number back.
Opening day.
He was like, I got to have that number back. But that man is back with the Eagles. He's going to line up on the other side from Alshon. And it's going to be something special to watch. As long as he could stay healthy. I think we got something. You do need another receiver because he's at the tail end. I mean, he's only going to give you, 2 more years, maybe.
He's
but
Brown.
He does something that he does nothing that the other receivers on the team can do, and that's stretch the field. So he will open up, for God's sake, don't open it up too wide because you'll be going to Ertz all the time. But he'll open up that middle for all the stuff underneath. I mean, he'll open some of that stuff up for Alshon too. So because he's going to draw the double team going deep a lot, and Carson better throw that ball out there. Now I know we keep going back to this spot. If Foles was still here, he'd be chucking that ball down the field. He doesn't matter. If you see 10 running, he's gonna throw the ball up. If he don't get it or if it gets picked off, at least he tried. He'll throw it downfield. And I don't see that from Carson. I haven't seen it from him in a while. I mean, he does what he's supposed to do, but I don't see a lot of long balls from him for some reason. I know he's got the arm,
bad back. Remember, bad back.
But even before he got hurt that Super Bowl year, he stopped going long at some point because he wasn't really going deep. Mediocre 20, 30, 35 yards, that's fine. But I'm talking about the big ball, 40, 50, 60 yards downfield. Not a lot of them. But this man's going to...
For a while there, he was struggling with accuracy on his deep ball, particularly when he first came in the league. You know that. He wasn't none of them. That 2017 year, he turned it around, but like you said, he kind of, he started falling in love. But he threw the ball to Alshon a lot. 2017, end of the year, that was becoming his guy. Remember, they were making a run at the end. I think Alshon torched Houston. Remember Houston and Denver? He torched Denver too because he caught that pass on the go route. It was nasty. With one hand, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Clicking, but it took him a while to click with Alshon. I worry about that with Deshaun because Deshaun.
He's going to start yapping.
Yeah.
You got to give him. Listen. You brought him back. You know he wants the ball. You got to draw up some plays to get this man the ball. I mean, in space or however you're going to do it, you got to get this man the ball.
Doug is going to draw the plays up. He got to throw him the doggone ball. That's what he got to do.
Yeah, that's Carson. That's Carson. He'll come. What'll happen is D-Jack will come back. He'll line up, and then they'll start running double tight end sets and throwing the ball in the middle of the field to the 2 tight ends. That's what they'll end up doing. Because that's just Doug. He does everything the way that people don't think he's going to do it.
Right.
It works. Sometimes it works out. Sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just wanted to give that little tribute to number 10 because he's back. And what's going to happen to the guy that wore number 10? What's the story with him?
Really?
Where is he?
I really did. Talking about the other day.
Yeah. He's still hurt. I mean,
sports hernia, year and a half.
She's still hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah, what did he have? A sports hernia? I don't know what he had. Is that what it is? I don't know.
Yeah, the bag broke on it or something. They had to go back in.
Oh man, there you go now.
You know, it's really just a net that they put there to hold everything back in place until it heals, then it dissolves. That's what happened, and it didn't heal properly. But nobody ever spoke on it. It was like a mystery. It just never made sense. I don't know what happened to that kid. They were trying to get Mike Wallace back at the end. Is he still under contract? Is he still in Philly, Mike Wallace?
I don't think so.
Are those bums still around?
I don't know. I don't know. You hate Mike Wallace. Oh man, I don't know, man. I can't call it.
Yeah.
I can't call it. I mean, some of those bums are going to be coming off the roster, I guess, between now and June when they do some more. And I don't even know if Mike Wallace is still there. I thought he had a 1-year contract. I thought it was to prove it. Maybe it was 2-year. It was a 1 year, right?
I thought so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Should have been 6 months.
Yeah.
He said 6 month
He caught his first pass in Tampa. First pass, wide receiver screen, took like 4 steps and just Chinatown. I'm done for the year. I'm like, are you kidding, man? This guy's supposed to be bringing speed. Torrey Smith was more productive, man. That guy was a waste of space.
Remember when we were saying Torrey Smith? Do we really want him? He actually ended up being a better player than Mike Wallace. Mike Wallace didn't play at all, but he was actually a perfect complementary second wide receiver to what we were doing, and it worked out well. I mean, he had some drops, and he got a little lazy towards the middle of the season, but he picked it up in the playoffs. But he ended up being better than I thought he was going to be.
Yeah.
And he loves Philly. You can tell that he didn't want to leave. He didn't want to leave. He had his family and didn't hear his name at all last year. Maybe one time. That was it.
Torrey Smith from Maryland or from Jersey, 1 or 2. He kind of local, you know what I'm saying? So it was cool for him. I'm gonna say this before we end the show because I got to make one last comment.
Mm-hmm.
If they bring in Deshaun Jackson and get rid of Aguilar and don't get a viable replacement, not no Jordan Matthews, not none of these, Golden Tate, none of these trash dudes, but a real compliment, I'll be really disappointed.
Yeah.
For them to move on for him because wide receivers are strength right now. Why weaken it? Get rid of a corner. You got 8 of them. Don't get rid of a wide receiver. That's not smart.
So you're saying don't get rid of Aguilar?
No.
Well, how about get rid of him and stick Mac Hollins out there in the slot?
I don't trust Mac Hollins.
No.
Do you trust Aguilar? You just started trusting him if you do.
Yeah. No. I trusted him after the Super Bowl run. I trusted him last year. He never got the ball.
Yeah, last year he started regressing a little bit, though. He started doing a little bit things, fading out and disappearing a little bit in games. He wasn't what he was in 2017.
No, but he had the same stats. You look at the stats; they were identical.
No, he did, but for some reason it didn't look the same. He wasn't as magical as he was in 2017 for some odd reason. Maybe it was the quarterbacks. I have no idea.
I think so. The quarterbacks had a lot to do with that.
Listen, I know what the story is about 11, and because that's all you could be talking about.
But Carson come back the way he was the first 4 weeks of the season of his career.
Mm-hmm.
Forget about 2017. Them first 4 weeks when he played quarterback, that was some of the best quarterbacking I've seen in this city. The first 4 weeks.
Yep.
When he was wrong, he threw the ball to whoever was open. He wasn't in love with anybody. He just wanted to get that ball in his hands, and it came out fast and hard, went to the guy, and he kept on. He stayed focused. He wasn't, feeling himself. It just kept on moving, and that's the kid I need. That's what they need back at quarterback. They need to put the offensive line around him so he can feel secure, and they can make that happen. I gotta believe against my better judgment that they go offensive tackle and offensive guard significantly high in this draft so they protect Carson, and they will get him a running back.
And you can't go too significantly because we don't have a pick after the second until the fourth. We got two over there, but
let Howie do what Howie does. You'd be surprised.
we'll see. I'm gonna be watching. You know that. I think we all gonna be watching. We need to see what's going on.
Might move back and get an extra. I don't know, but I just think if you're gonna get this guy the complete keys to the car, get rid of a Super Bowl winning quarterback, leave him out there on the island, you got to give him the support. Because he's going to need that support so he can get over the mental obstacle that this is his team again. It's all him. Yo, the media, we going to chew him up.
Oh, yeah.
2 bad games, and the love affair with Wentz going to end real quick. They mess around and start off, and they're 1-3 or something like that, and he's thrown 7 or 8 picks. Man, look.
Come on.
They're going to trash him. You know that. And everything that McNabb said is going to come to
Oh,
fruition.
man, I don't need to hear that.
Goofy look on his face. I told him.
Talk
to me.
I told him. I don't need to even hear him. I don't need to hear him. Yeah. So, we're running up on 9 o'clock here. I'm good. Productive call, productive show. We're going to try to do this again next week. We'll be post-draft at that point. Again, less than 24 hours. We got the next 3 days. In the middle of that, unfortunately, I won't be able to watch the draft the second day. I had this conversation with Murph because I got my Marvel Endgame tickets for Friday night. Wasn't thinking when I got them. So, and the movie starts at like 6, and I think the movie's like 17 hours long at this point. So, I'll be in the movie like sneaking a peek at my phone, like trying to get updates to see what's going on. But I'm gonna watch my movie, but I'm definitely gonna watch the draft too while I'm at the theater. So We'll see what happens. But I'm good. You guys need anything else? If not, Murph, you can close it out, and we look forward to next week.
Well, if you see WTF come across your phone because they drafted a corner, you knew it was me.
It's gonna happen. That's what they would do. Something like that is the
Don't make
Eagles.
me. I'm trying to close out on a good note. I need good energy from the football gods.
They might draft a center in the second round.
We want a linebacker. No, we're glad to be back. We're looking forward to the draft. This is your boy Big Murph. We will have a post-draft show. I'm putting it out there right now. I'm even just telling my co-hosts because they didn't even know I was going to say that. We'll have a post-draft show. We'll talk about it next week. Probably be earlier in the week. First in Philly. We back 2019. Yo, let's get this thing started. Let's get the right picks so we can build something for the future. And you know how we do. Go Birds. Peace.
I'm Jersey J. That's Big Murph. That's Big Dale. We are out. We will see you guys next week.
See ya.
Later.